My name is Mike, and this is my parkour journey. So, I started parkour about 4 years ago, and with the help of YouTube and a few local classes, I got decent working on the individual skills, but just before our second lockdown during this COVID, I was kind of plateauing and stagnating. And I was trying to figure out why. And one of the instructors we talked about physical capabilities and mental capabilities, and I was finding that I was limiting myself based on a lot of my own fears, and a lot of these fears, probably years of mental scar tissue, physical scar tissue. I find that when kids start, or looking at my kids when they do parkour, they're a little more fearless than adults when they start. I went looking on YouTube, trying to find content on how to get over these mental barriers, and there's not that much out there, so that's why I'm making this video. So my challenge to myself, and I'm not giving myself any time frame, is to figure out a program or just a strategy on how to overcome some of these mental barriers, because parkour, in my mind, is a lot about breaking these mental barriers. I find I have the physical capabilities to do a lot more, but just my brain gets in the way. Hope you can join me on this journey, and I'll show you, and hopefully you guys can learn something. Talk to you soon.
I wanted to start showing this clip. I did this line about a month ago. It took me about 3 weeks to break it down and do it. I just wanted to give you guys kind of an idea of where I'm at in skill level. So I was really proud of this line. So anyways, here's the jump that I want to do from this ledge to that ledge. And it was pretty scary just because there's that height. So we set up progressions, same height, but ground level, no fears, just can I physically do the jump? And I definitely can do this jump. It's definitely in my wheelhouse. Physically, not that hard, but even when I was practicing, my brain didn't like it. So my instructor at Breathe Parkour, tall Rob back there, he set up this crash pad. There's my little guy. He's doing the jump too. No fear, the kids, like I was saying. But so we kind of set up the circuit ground. Then I went from the ledge on the I'm walking towards that ledge. I'm going to a pretty big ledge. Again, pretty big safety, making sure I can physically do the jump. And then I turn around, and even with that crash pad, it took me a long time to hit this jump. And this is my first time breaking the jump, which I was super stoked with. So when we talk about breaking the jump and kind of matching up the physical and mental capabilities, I think it's really important. I didn't realize how important that was when I first started out. And
1 week later.
So here I am 1 week later. All I really did was practice visualizing the jump, and I made the jump. I couldn't believe it. I'm so happy that I was able to do the jump without the crash pad. And I really only didn't practice anything physical about the jump at home. All I did was, in my mind, looked at how could I make the jump, visualize how it was in my head, and I couldn't believe that I actually hit it.
So I was hoping to have way more footage to show you guys before, I was thinking it was going to take many attempts, me sitting on that ledge staring at it, but I made the jump a lot faster than I thought I was going to. I'm not complaining, super stoked about it, but I wanted to take the chance to recap. I think one of the issues with watching parkour and watching free runners on YouTube or Instagram is that you just see the final product, the final skill, the final line, the huge jump, but you don't get to see the process of all the practice that they put in, all the time and dedication, all the bruises and bumps and mental challenges they had to go through. So I wanted to take the time to go through that process, because that's what I find is missing on YouTube right now. So my first step was to set up progressions, and to do that you went to my parkour gym. I want to take the chance to say thank you to Breathe Parkour for the last, we've been there for the last 6 years, my family. I've been there for 4 years. and they are an invaluable tool and asset. The instructors there are amazing. If you're ever in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, visit Breathe Parkour. It's an amazing facility. So when you start off, definitely keep safety in mind, set up some progressions. I've always been really good at that, but that's kind of where I've stopped. I was good at doing progressions, setting up, on ground level, getting to that point just before the jump, but then my mind would always blank. And that's where we talked about your physical capabilities and that can you do it, to the mental capabilities as does your brain want you to do it. And I'm really focusing on bringing up my mental capabilities to match more in line with what I can do physically, so I can hopefully get better and better in the future. Unfortunately, when you do progressions, it does get a bit boring because you're just trying to ingrain muscle memory, but it's a double-edged sword. You can't move to the next step unless you have the basics down, the muscle memory, all the repetitions to focus on that. So anyways, first thing is do progressions with safety. Definitely use your local gym if you have one. The second step that we looked at was having a keyword. Just when you're on doing whatever skill you want to do and you're stuck, or you're kind of hesitant on what to do, you need to give yourself a keyword to go. And at that point, you need to go. You got to huck or get off the ledge. You need to be prepared to make that jump once you're there, or do the line, or do the skill, or make the flip. You can't have any hesitation. You need to trust that you've put in the work, trust that your body knows what it's going to do, and just go and do it. Just trust that you've put in the time and the effort, and then you can just go ahead and have the confidence that you're going to do it. And the last thing is visualization. This time I didn't actually practice the jump physically, because the jump physically isn't hard, but for me it was just seeing the drops, seeing the different levels, that messed with my brain. So for 1 week, from my one lesson to the next, all I did was visualize what that line looked like and practice or visualize that jump in my head over and over. And when I got to the jump the following week after doing some practice, I ran through a couple progressions and I just went and said, I know what this jump looks like in my head, I'm just going to go do it. And I was able to hit that jump. Well, that's it for my first challenge. Check that off the list. I've got some ideas for my next challenges. I'd love to be able to take flips out of the airbag to the ground. That's something I've never done in my life since I started parkour, so I definitely would love to do that. Maybe doing some catbacks at height, just really doing some mental challenges and seeing where, once I can get my mental abilities up, where I can go in my parkour journey. So I hope this helped anyone to either break into parkour or hit that skill that you've been working hard on, and I'll see you next time.